Coming up on Cronkite NewsWatch.
Just get out of your chair and do everything you can possibly do.
Local hockey players aren't letting disabilities keep them from playing the sport they love.
Plus, Arizona takes the lead in protecting high school football players.
And an ASU club is bringing a staple of the Olympics to you.
In-depth, insightful, innovative. Cronkite NewsWatch starts right now.
Hello and welcome into the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Special. I'm Robbie Baker.
And I'm Jason Galvin. You know, the headlines have been dominated by the Sun Devil football team on the gridiron this year, but Robbie, it's not the only major story in football in Arizona.
That's right, Jason. The bond between player and coach is a lot like that of father and son. When Florence High School played their homecoming game against Combs High School, they had to do so without their father. Friday Night Lights. The band. The coin toss.
He said what?
It's homecoming weekend for Florence High School, but something's missing.
We miss our coach.
It's been great. Monday practice, it was all fine. And Tuesday morning to hear that it was heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking because the players found out that their 38-year-old coach, Stephen McCain, someone they thought would walk the sidelines for years to come, passed away October 8th of a heart attack. He left a wife, 3 children, a football team, and a community behind.
He is saying goodbye. There it goes.
He said that his children would someday go to Florence High School and play for him. That's not going to happen.
He was just a great person. Everybody loved him. His kids loved him. And it's just been devastating for all of us and for the community.
And especially tough on his football team. Instead of taking the field with their coach by their side, they all touched his hat on their way to the field.
Their biggest question was what would they do now, especially our boys that are seniors and the ones that are juniors, and how would they go on. A lot of them didn't want to play. They wanted to quit this season. And then we got word that Mr. McCain's dad, Bill, would be taking over the team. We were in awe that a father that could lose a son step up and take over this team.
I couldn't take his place, but to step up and just assist him at this time.
Stephen's sudden passing brought together this already tight-knit community, and they showed their support Friday night.
Seeing all these people here, really need their support, and then knowing Coach McCain was gone and really helped us out.
While a win that night wouldn't heal their wounds, it would certainly go a long way in helping them to begin the process.
It would be... It would probably mean everything to these kids on this sideline, to be honest, and to his father, who's coaching for him here interim tonight and for the rest of our season.
And almost as if someone were looking down upon the team in the final minutes, in a dramatic comeback, Florence scored enough to win. But it was the type of game that wasn't just won on the field.
I felt his presence near and close, and I'm grateful for it. And you know what? I'm not sure if on the other side football's all that important, but I'll tell you this, he loves his kids.
And his kids will always love Coach McCain. The Florence High School Gophers ended their season with a record of 5-5, which was good for 3rd place in their league.
When the NFL settled a $700+ million lawsuit with former players regarding concussions, it sent shockwaves through the world of professional sports. But it's not just the paid athletes that have to deal with the effects of concussions. As our Nick Merrick shows us, high school athletes also have to worry about it.
They had to talk into my thick skull that your son actually was hurt, and it's serious.
John Hammonds and his son Judah did not spend the preseason on the football field this year.
But he had this really bad headache, and he was holding his head like this. And
that's because in his final game last year, Judah suffered a head injury.
How'd you feel when they told you can't play anymore in that game against the Bandits? It was pretty sad.
A little bit faster.
So now, instead of putting on his uniform, doctors are making him do a baseline test after confirming he had a concussion. Judah has to pass the test before getting back on the field. And this is the kind of preventive medicine that needs to happen before kids put on their pads.
Good job.
The thing that you want to do the most at the young level is make sure that the foundation and the fundamentals of football are there.
Come through, club and rip, club and rip, club and rip.
Also, the Arizona Interscholastic Association announced a new contact rule for high school sports.
Good, nice.
During the regular season, football players can only participate in full contact for 1/3 of the practice.
Lean out. There you go. Nice job. Nice job.
A 2012 study by the AIA showed that 1/3 of all high school sport concussions happened during practice. Mountain Ridge's head football coach Bobby Green thinks this new non-contact rule may go nationwide.
Too tall.
I think it's something that is here to stay, and ultimately it's about athletes' protection and safety.
Hammond is still supportive of his son playing high school football, and he just wants Judah to be safe.
There's risk in football, we all know it, but on the other hand, we want to keep our kids safe.
Safe and happy. In Phoenix, Nick Merrick, Cronkite Sports.
Arizona is the only state with such an extensive rule regarding practice time for high school football players in pads. Coming up next on Cronkite NewsWatch's Sports Special, we'll take you around the valley to show you how a group of athletes are beating the odds.
My children are growing, and it's so amazing how quick they change. Has PBS made me a better father? The answer is yes. I mean, believe me, kids don't come with instructions. Sometimes you face those moments, it's like, what do I do? And you will be watching PBS Kids and thinking, wow, very wise. Finally, I got the answer. And that's the kind of TV we need to be supporting today.
A tradition of excellence, integrity, and innovation.
The second I came in, I fell in love with the program.
The Cronkite School propels students into the new era of journalism.
Students are learning.
Digital, entrepreneurial, and collaborative labs encourage students to shape the future of the industry, and the industry is watching.
We have come here to meet with students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism.
The Cronkite School, the journalism school for the digital age.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?
Welcome back to the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Specialty Show. Alongside Mariah Baker, I'm Nick Merrick. Sports typically are associated with gyms like these, but Mariah, I'll be the first to tell you that hockey is one of the most challenging sports in the world.
That's right, Nick, and try playing that sport without the use of your legs. Seems difficult? Well, reporter Jason Galvin introduces us to a group of hockey players who are beating those odds.
It's time to hit the ice. But this isn't your everyday hockey game. The Coyote sled hockey team is dedicated to making the game accessible for all.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm in.
There's no prior experience required, but rookies beware. This team's good. Goalie Matt Giacobbe couldn't serve in the military, so he represents his country in a different way by playing on the U.S. national team.
You know what? It's a dream come true. You know, ever since I was little, I wanted to join the service, but since I have a disability, it's kind of hard to do. So I figured the next best thing.
While the competition on the ice is intense, it's the camaraderie between those in similar situations that makes the Coyotes special.
We do have a lot of different disabilities that are out there, so it's kind of nice to get that interaction with other people and different experiences.
The rules of sled hockey are identical to its stand-up counterpart. Players use specialized sticks to propel themselves on customized sleds, and the speed and skill of the players has even caught the attention of the NHL's Coyotes, who practice in the same Scottsdale facility.
Whenever they're here, they come and watch. Every once in a while, you see them standing out there and watching.
When the Coyotes put on the gloves and strap on the sled, it's all fun and games. But they say the message runs much deeper.
Just get out of your chair and do everything you can possibly do.
A message that applies to all, disabled or not. In Scottsdale, Jason Galvin, Cronkite Sports.
You don't have to be disabled to play for the Coyotes. Team members say able-bodied participants are welcome on the sled as well.
A controversial decision to remove one sport from the Olympics left athletes and fans across the world in shock. 30 million male wrestlers felt their dreams were coming to an end. But as Cronkite Sports reporter Mariah Baker shows us, those dreams are once again about to become a reality.
We are Chargers!
For many young wrestlers, their dreams of becoming an Olympic athlete were silenced last February when the International Olympic Committee voted to remove wrestling from the Olympic docket.
I was upset because I don't see how they could take out the oldest sport in the Olympics. I just didn't see how they could take away kids' dreams of becoming future Olympians.
But with the 2014 Olympics right around the corner, the International Olympic Committee had a tough decision to make. Bring back wrestling or squash, baseball, and softball, which had received the axe.
Every wrestler's, dream is to wrestle for your country.
After a lot of politicking, the Olympic Committee made the tough decision of readmitting the oldest Olympic sport back on the agenda for 2020, giving wrestling another chance.
I think now that it's come back, a lot of people think, oh, hey, maybe I'll start watching wrestling just to see what it is, But I think I'm totally stoked that it's back.
Now, wrestling being added will come at a cost. Scoring will double, weight classes will be added, and theatrical lighting will be included. Something fans and wrestlers alike are looking forward to.
So I am hoping if they can get their act together and make it more exciting, then all be it. We don't want a bunch of firecrackers going off or anything, but anything to make the sport a little more exciting.
And anything to keep it around. On the mats in Tempe, Mariah Baker, Cronkite Sports.
Athletes and fans can expect wrestling back in the program just in the nick of time for the 2020 Games in Tokyo. Adding to the excitement, they're introducing a new weight class for women, opening up many more opportunities.
Speaking of the Olympic Games, in 2012, the Olympics received nearly 5,000 hours of coverage. Meanwhile, the Paralympics, they received only 5 hours. Sports reporter Robbie Baker sits down with the Banner Wheelchair Sons to see if that coverage will soon change.
The Paralympics is the second largest sporting event in the world next to the Olympics.
Jim Miller is a two-time Paralympian and member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. His experiences at the Paralympic Games weren't much different from some NBA legends.
When we were in Barcelona, we played in the same gym the Dream Team played in, and it was packed.
The media coverage of Miller's sport was much different, though, until recently.
The Italians looking to finish with the final score.
NBC announced they will be broadcasting an unprecedented 116 hours of the Paralympics, starting with Sochi in 2014. Gary Venjon is the coach of the Banner Wheelchair Sons and is excited about the possibilities this coverage will bring.
It'll benefit us greatly because the more people with physical disabilities that participate in the sport and become active, it'll help them with secondary conditions, self-esteem and everything else will help build it up.
For these Paralympic athletes, the expanded media coverage of their sport means more than just a shot at the spotlight. Tommy Hambicki is a Paralympic hopeful who runs a nonprofit organization whose mission is to help the disabled community. This new coverage could help him spread his message.
That would be nothing but blessings and huge opportunities for us to expand and be able to help, like I said, help more people.
And for some, the coverage hits closer to home.
All your cousins and, other brothers and sisters that have to work or whatnot, everybody would be able to see it.
In Phoenix, Robbie Baker, Cronkite Sports.
NBC's coverage of the 2015 Paralympic Games is expected to be much more than those a year ago in London. Coming up next, we'll show you that it's not always about wins and losses, but how sports has become big business in the Valley.
What if students could see and touch atoms or unlock the secrets of Stonehenge? Now they can. Introducing PBS Learning Media, a next-generation digital service from 8 that lets students dive deeper and changes how they learn. See how Arizona's largest classroom is helping to build the classroom of tomorrow today at az.pbslearningmedia.org. Check Please Arizona, 8's Emmy Award-winning restaurant review show is now accepting restaurant nominations from anywhere in Arizona. So if you live in Flagstaff, Yuma, Kingman, Prescott, Holbrook, Payson, Phoenix, or anywhere in between, we want you to nominate your favorite hometown restaurant. Apply to be a guest on Check Please Arizona. Go to azpbs.org/checkplease.
Welcome back to the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Special. Alongside Blake Walker, I'm Ryan Foote. And you know, Blake, finances in the world of sports go far beyond player contract and salaries.
And U.S. Airways and Chase Field are at the heart of downtown Phoenix. And as you found out, Ryan, the home team's success on the field can help the businesses around it.
Base hit down the line, that's a fair ball.
Pro sports teams are a crucial component of downtown Phoenix's economy.
On sports days, a vast majority of our business is because of that sporting event that's going on.
A successful team can lead to a successful business.
Playoffs, obviously, in this business and as close as we are to the stadium, a lot of times we go as the teams go.
Making the postseason might be the first step towards a championship, but it is one of the last when it comes to making a budget.
I mean, you certainly put your plan in place. You hope that you're going to make the postseason, but you can't rely on it for revenues.
As much as fans and business owners wish for a postseason berth, it is not the most important element to a successful season.
Having a relatively successful core season, even if you don't make it to the playoffs, generates way more revenue and activity than you'd get out of a few playoff games.
And for teams like the D-backs, while they know wins will get them into the playoffs, they also know that those wins will have a payoff as well.
That final month of the season when we were battling for a postseason spot and we're trying to get into the playoffs, your attendance is going to be higher each and every game in September.
Success means that more people come, maybe 10,000 people come from every extra game. Over an 81-game baseball season, that's another 8.1 million people turning up.
Whatever team you root for, chances are the business owners will do the same.
We love being a part of those organizations and doing whatever we can to support those organizations and those fans.
And owners know how passionate fans in Phoenix can be.
They really get into it, and everyone loves a winner.
In downtown Phoenix, I'm Ryan Foote, Cronkite Sports.
With the Suns off to an unexpectedly hot start, nobody is happier about the possibility of a playoff run than the local businesses.
When colleges move up to Division I, struggles can be expected. But when Blake went up to Grand Canyon University, the men's basketball team told her they're not going to let the move hold them back.
Some might consider them a small fish in a big pond, but Grand Canyon University is not letting a move up to Division I stop them from being a competitor. And guard Jerome Garrison says his team is willing to do whatever it takes to compete with the big boys.
Practicing longer workouts in the weight room. Everything's just more intense.
And new head coach Dan Marley is just as ready as his team is.
I want to be able to compete at the highest level. There's nothing better than being in the Division I program. They were very successful at the Division II level. Division I's different. I know one thing, we will compete and we will be good.
It isn't just an adjustment for the team. It's one for Marley too. From assistant coach at the Suns to head coach at GCU.
They always say that the seat next to the assistant coach, that 2 inches is the biggest jump you'll ever make because everything's on me now. I got to make the final decisions. If things go wrong, it's going to be on me, but I look forward to it.
Although they do plan on winning games, according to the NCAA rules, they can't go to the big dance for 4 years. But they say when their time comes, they will be ready.
We're just trying to build a culture, a program, an identity to the team.
An opportunity that gives students like Jerome, who's been at GCU for 3 years, the chance to compete against the best teams in the NCAA.
This year, we don't plan on taking a step back. You know, even though it's a jump, we're still going to compete. That's the good thing about having Marley is that he's coming in here thinking, you know, let's win.
And the players are up for the challenge. On the courts in Phoenix, Blake Walker, Cronkite Sports.
If anyone can figure out the jump to D1, it's Thunder and Dan. Coming up on the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Special, we'll show you some interesting places and faces that you've probably never seen before, even if you are one of the Valley's biggest sports fans.
One tremendous thing about PBS is that it makes art accessible by putting it on a platform where millions of people can access it for free. And we need it. We need music, we need dance, we need great theater for our soul, for joy in our lives. A lot of people flip on PBS and hear or see something that wakes up that integral part of being a human being, which is enjoying the arts of other human beings. So I'm grateful for PBS as an artist and as a viewer.
I came to the United States when I was 24 years old. I did not speak any English. I felt very, very lost, really not knowing what to do with my life. One day on TV, there was Sesame Street. Ernie and Grover and Cookie Monster, and it's not only that I learned to speak in English, now I know how to live in the United States, so this is how you do it. Now I'm powerful. Now I know I can do anything I want. I will make myself learn how to do it. And I got that from PBS. I bought my first set of paints and brushes, and I practice. My path is children's books, and I have found who I wanted to be, which is that person who has something to say. PBS and Sesame Street, they open up the world to me.
Welcome back to the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Special. Robbie, you know, a lot of times professional athletes, they only get praised for what they do on the field.
That's very true, Jason. But a couple football players have caught our eye for what they're doing off the field. A couple have gone from catching footballs to throwing dodgeballs. Our Nick Merrick explains.
It's dodgeball with a twist. Or should we say an extra jump?
There are NFL players, dodgeball, and we're at Sky Zone.
Birthday boy Kyle and his friends were busy beating 2 former athletes on trampolines. Quick feet and a little shake and bake wasn't enough to avoid the kids' deadly accuracy. How many times did you get the NFL guys out?
Probably like 5 times.
Pro to You is a business where you can actually hang out and maybe play a game or two with some former pros.
We just created a platform where we allow athletes to be able to be more accessible in the communities, have a little fun in the interim.
Former Arizona Cardinal and Pro to You president John Bronson says while the kids get new playmates, they also get some real life lessons that could help down the road.
A little more push and drive to do whatever they want to do. It doesn't mean they have to be a professional athlete, but just be like, man, you know, if that guy can do it, you know, I can do it.
It's like the perfect family. The parents are happy, the kids are smiling, and the big brothers are exhausted. But what's a family without a little smack talk?
Get off the field.
No matter what sport, no matter how talented, they are all considered teammates. Bouncing in Peoria, Nick Merrick, Cronkite Sports.
Pro to You has also caught the eye of some former Sun Devil athletes, including quarterback Rudy Carpenter, and will be expanding to other states.
In sports, disabilities can be hard to overcome, but our Blake Walker tells us about a wrestler who wasn't going to let his disability keep him pinned down.
Turn him! You gotta turn him right now, come on!
He is fiercely competitive. If you beat him in a sprint, he's going to turn around, barely able to breathe, and challenge you again.
You wouldn't believe Sammy Levy was 85 pounds 4 years ago.
I think his confidence was lacking a little bit, partially because of his size. He was so much smaller than his friends.
Not only was he smaller than everybody else, he also struggled with a nonverbal learning disability.
He's gone from being a very quiet and reserved individual to someone that's starting to become outspoken.
And it was wrestling that helped him overcome bullies, bad grades, and low self-confidence.
I've gotten a lot tougher, and like it helps in school because I know I can get through anything because it's a lot easier than wrestling practice.
Now 40 pounds heavier, Sammy is someone you don't want to see on the mat.
It's a dogfight, and he's going to test your limits.
Having a strong support system wasn't the only thing that helped push him through.
I've had a lot of people doubt me, but I'll never do good, and I have, so. Look at me now.
But Sammy only has one thing on his mind.
Looking for my championship this year.
On the mats in Phoenix, Blake Walker, Cronkite Sports.
Sammy Levy's back on the mats and in the midst of a successful season.
When most people say fencing in Arizona, they think chain link or picket, not swords. The Arizona State Fencing Club provides a unique opportunity for students to partake in a sport they only see on television or in the movies. Our Ryan Foote has more.
ASU is known for the big sports like football or basketball. But one sport that gets little recognition, yet is one of the best teams on campus, is fencing.
I have fenced for a total of 5 days, I believe.
Joshua Igina came to a practice after seeing a flyer for the club, and he's not the only one.
This is a lot of fun. and you meet a lot of really nice people here.
Fencers of all skill levels are welcome. Whether it's the first time you picked up a blade, been practicing for a few months, you might even run into a former state champion.
I was very successful in the Arizona division, and for a while I was the state champion.
One thing everyone here has in common, any level is welcome.
There's certain teams here that are full of people that are from last year, and they just walked on like some of these people will walk on.
But joining is all about passion. There are no scholarships, but that hasn't stopped people from coming out.
You get new fencers and they watch a lot of TV, so they think they have an idea what fencing's like until you actually try to have them really fence.
In the last 5 years, the team has never finished outside the top 5 in the country. One of the main reasons the club continues to compete on such a high level is the dedication of its members. Like the more experienced fencers who spend time each practice helping out the newcomers.
Before I would just come and do my own thing, but now I'm able to share and kind of give back.
Something that doesn't go unnoticed.
If you need help, go ask and they will help you.
Hopefully helpful enough to get another championship.
Never-ending battle.
In Tempe, Ryan Foote, Cronkite Sports.
Well, I don't know about you, Jason, but fencing looks a little dangerous to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's the sport for either one of us, Robbie. Yeah, that's going to do it for the Cronkite NewsWatch Sports Special. For Blake Walker, Mariah Baker, Ryan Foote, and Nick Merrick, I'm Jason Galvin.
And I'm Robbie Baker. Remember, if you want to get any more news from around the valley or watch any more sports packages, you can always go to CronkiteNewsOnline.com. Thanks for joining us.